Okay, here we are at the next instalment of On the Sofa With, and today we have none other than one of our marching artists, Russell Piner. Nice to have you here.
Yeah, great to be here, finally.
So we've known each other for, must be, nearly 30 years, just over 25 years? So it's been a long old time.
26 years, 27
so,
years.
Obviously I know everything about you, but for those of you who don't, do you just want to give yourself a quick introduction and what you do and what you have done?
No. Yeah, sure. Russ Piner. I've been in the Royal Marines, or have been in the Royal Marines 25 years, served with Stu. During that time, did loads and loads of jobs, amazing stuff around the world, which I'm sure we'll probably get into talking about. Currently, I recently left the Royal Marines Corps Drums, but currently doing some stuff with the British Drum Company, working with the Society of International Rudimental Drummers, which I'm sure we'll talk about.
Yeah.
Just been drumming for most of my sort of life, really, in different forms.
So going back to that, the 25 years you spent in the Royal Marines, what were your highlights? Have you got any highlights that stand out?
Yeah. Obviously, just getting into Royal Marines initially was a big highlight, and we both joined up together. Get through training together, and then you go out to the big wide world. But really, probably between 2015 and 2017 was like a real kind of pivotal set of years. So 2015, I got the chance to go to work with the Hellcats field music group out in America at West Point. Met an amazing drummer called Jeff Prospery, who's a drum corps drummer, but he's in the Hellcats, and he incredible, phenomenal drummer. Taught me loads of stuff which I didn't know. Spent all these years drumming, didn't know half the stuff which you can always learn more, can't you?
Yeah.
And he taught me loads.
So tell us a bit about that. What did you do while you were over there with the Hellcats?
Yeah, so it was a 2-week. It was supposed to be an exchange, but it never quite worked out. But I spent 2 weeks out there, hosted by them, because I played a bugle as well. In the Royal Marines, we played a bugle, so I got involved with the bugle side of it and also the drumming side. Just seeing what they do, getting involved in their parades, and just had a blast really. And then that was kind of when I really started to understand, because I knew a bit, because my dad was inspired by the pipe band world, and he taught me. But it's the first real big kind of introduction to the wider world of drumming, rudimental drumming. So from there, I kind of talking about the other highlights. So went to Pasik after that. Met Mark Riley, who's from the Old Guard, who's another BDC artist, just been announced. Met him. We got talking, and I managed to do some stuff together with the Old Guard. 2017, went to Basel. So in Basel, they have the massive drumming festival called Fastnacht. So not only was it my first time going to the event, but I was also able to drum as well. And to take part in that is just, if any drummer, no matter what type of drumming you're into, go to Basel sort of March time every year, and there's like thousands and thousands of drummers.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe you wanted to explain what it is, because for those who've got no idea and looking from the outside in, it's quite a different sort of festival or culture to what we're used to in the UK. So do you want to explain a little bit about it?
Yeah, I'll try. Forgive me if I get any details wrong. Today it is, celebration of drum and fife. It has its history rooted back in, I believe, the 15th, 16th century, possibly earlier, when they used to sort of ward away the sort of evil spirits and parade through the town. Nowadays, it is just become this incredible cultural event in Switzerland, really important. Happens all across Switzerland, but Basel is probably the biggest one. And you get drummers all ages, little toddlers or little kids about sort of 7, 8 years old, drumming, fifing, and you literally drum around the city for 72 hours.
Yeah, I think 72 hours, and it starts at 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah,
that's when the whole procession starts.
Yeah, so it's crazy. The lights go out about 4:00 in the morning, and then all of a sudden, there's a silence, sort of the calm before the storm, and then there's a massive. All the drummers in the entire city all start at the same time, and it is just such a sound.
Yeah, I think I read a fact somewhere. There's something like 20,000 drummers just in Basel town centre. It's incredible.
Yeah. So anyone out there.
Yeah, and it's also the costumes there were as well. Obviously, they're called cliques, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they've all got their own costumes and masks that they change throughout each fast night because it goes on topical issues that they change the uniform for that particular year.
When we went out in 2017, it was all Brexit and things. There's loads of like Brexit costumes.
It's great, you know, if you like, you know, fifing or drumming to go to pretty much the home of drumming. It's definitely something that people should do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can't
so, in that pivotal year, what else did you do in them couple of years?
Well, yeah. So getting on to this, so this is probably my highlight, the best gig I ever did personally, and that was we performed at the Royal Albert Hall with Top Secret Drum Corps. I'm hoping that most people know who Top Secret are, but you know, an incredible group which really brought drumming to the masses. You know, drumming's obviously been an underlying current in most cultures, but Top Secret really kind of created this product which I think appeals to most people. Anyone can watch their performances and think that's amazing. Yeah. So you know, and we've you know, myself and you and other members of the Royal Marines Corps Drums, we put up a good relationship with them over the years. But actually, to bring them across to London and to perform together at the Royal Albert Hall was incredible. And what it made it even better for me was I was selected to be the person to kind of help coordinate that, to choreograph with my opposite number in the Top Secret. And this is before kind of, you know, because nowadays things like Zoom, you know, collaborative working over the internet is sort of, you know, happens every single day, doesn't it? Yeah. Whereas back then, you know, it was very, very new. So we did some, you know, online meetings trying to make sure that what we were putting together was going to work. And then we got to Albert Hall, and we literally had probably about an hour together, you know, in total, maybe a little bit more, but actually together on the stage to run through it. You know, the rest of the time was in the car park, but you're literally talking a few hours together. The rest of the time it was all split. So if you go on YouTube and look at that video, you know, the fact that we got it so well together, you know, is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I remember watching it and thinking, wow, it was really incredible. And I'm guessing the audience reaction was the same on every performance because, you know, it wowed them because, you know, you know, we both know the Royal Marines have, you know, they've got styles and standards and they're trying not to lose the tradition. So to do something like that while keeping it all traditional as part of what they do was something different. And I think it opened up a lot of eyes to show people that actually we can do that as well. We just tend not to, but you know, and it's nice to see Top Secret using some of our styles as well. So it was a good balance between the two drum corps, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, that was the concept. You know, we didn't want it to be necessarily a drum battle, you know, because we do very different things. We wanted it to be like a real collaboration. So, and the fact, you know, seeing, you know, coming up with the concept on paper, but then actually seeing it come to fruition, and you know, lots of little things changed for the better, pretty much. You know, I loved the section where we march across the stage and they dance across, and that really kind of shows the two different sort of styles. But it just, that sort of juxtaposition really worked. And then also we come together at the end. They do a bit of our drum, you know, stick work. We do a bit of their more sort of flashy style, and then we all do the same. And it's just, yeah, it's great. And like I say, the audience response every single night was just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, you've just only got to look at the YouTube videos and look at the you know, the likes and shares it's had. It's outrageous. It's amazing.
Yeah, and you see loads of like reaction videos.
Yeah,
you know, and I like watching them. It's quite cool seeing people.
So I mean, you know, moving off completely, they've become a thing now. These reaction videos, because I've seen them, whether it's been, you know, people reacting to comedians, but I've now noticed a lot of there's a couple in America, and they're doing a lot of the Marine stuff, whether it's, you know, performances at the Royal Tournament or the Top Secret one. I must have seen about 6 or 7 people reacting to that video. So it's strange how social media turns as well, because that's also helping you, and it's, you know, you've not put that out. It's something that's then been shared and edited, and so it's amazing.
Yeah. But it's good seeing people's responses, and you know, seeing I was involved in that. You know, and that was really cool. So yeah, that was definitely my highlight. And not long after that, actually, I got promoted and changed job, and then sort of hung my drum up really. So it was nice to kind of finish on that.
That's a good one to finish on.
That's a pretty good one.
So obviously you had this amazing career. So let's go back to the start. You know, when did you start drumming, and who was the main influence for your drumming?
So like I alluded to earlier, so my father was in the Royal Marines. He was a drummer in the Royal Marines. His background in drumming, he was very influenced by pipe band drumming. Joined the pipe band. His massive inspiration was Alex Duthart. And he brought, obviously for myself personally, he brought a lot of those exercises, techniques to when he was teaching me. But he also really developed. He's kind of sort of cited as the person who really pushed the core drums, the Royal Marines core drums, into the 21st century, and make kind of really what we do now today, or what the Royal Marines core drums do now today, is really thanks to him. He moved the branch, as it's called, the Royal Marines core drums, into a direction. So yeah, he was my big influence. He took me through the various stages of trying to get better as a drummer, until I eventually joined the Royal Marines in '97, and then from there. And the thing is, in the Royal Marines, and it's only really recently, I suppose, last sort of 8 years, I suppose, that we've, with the advent of YouTube and everything, it's opened everyone's eyes, because every core drums or drum corps, no matter where you are, you're very focused on what you're doing at the time. Whereas with YouTube now, it really opens your eyes to all the other possibilities. There's always stuff to learn. And my dad understood that. He went to Scotland. He learned from the best. He brought it back. If YouTube had been around when he was doing it, who knows what he would have done further. But you've definitely inspired me to become a drummer.
I mean, I think I've spoke this on a number of times on different podcasts and what have you, but the advancement of social media is massive. You've got basically online education there 24/7 on anything you want, whether it's politics or whether it's gaming or drumming or different styles of drumming. It's there. So groups should be standards should appear, because there's just no there's no ceiling.
Well, it's often overwhelming, and there's, I suppose, for every great video there's also a bad one out there, isn't there? But there is so much. So just look at how many views that video's got, and that's quite a good metric to gauge if it's a good video or not.
Yeah.
And then but there's so much education out there.
I mean, I've definitely noticed on whether it be UK core drums or American drum and fives, there's definitely crossovers now happening within their either stick work or flourishing or anything like that. You're getting a bit of everything. So everybody's doing it. Everybody's looking to see what everybody else is doing and thinking, oh, I quite like the look of that. I'll pop that. I know I did when I composed. I definitely borrowed some bits from.
Well, it's all people. It's traditional, but you're not you're just recreating the wheel every time. It's part of the fun, really, is seeing something else which someone else has come up with and trying to sort of bring it into your own style. Maybe not copying it exactly, but trying to kind of create it how it could work with within your style.
Yeah.
And you see all these collaborations all the time. So the Swiss Army drummers, they've done stuff with American drum corps, the Marine Corps band. So we've done stuff with Top Secret. The Old Guard have done stuff with, there's loads of crossovers, which is really exciting.
Yeah, I love it. So, I mean, obviously you've had this massive career in drumming. So, and obviously your father was a drummer and all the rest of it, but if you weren't taking up drumming, what do you think you'd be doing today?
Oh, don't know.
Did you have a plan at school, or was that always the case? Because obviously that was mine. That I didn't, that was my plan, and I didn't have a backup. Did you have a backup, or?
Well, I did, yeah. Until I met you, actually. Yeah. So I planned to go to university and study design. So that was my plan. So who knows where I would have been? I might have been working here, perhaps designing and stuff. So that was my plan. But then went to our audition, met a great bunch of guys, and we sort of hit it off straight away, didn't we? So I sort of put that to one side, really, and then sort of focused on the Royal Marines' career, and then more recently really kind of started to look at the drumming aspect of things. I
mean, we've both been quite lucky in our careers, doing music. It takes you all over the world. You get to travel some amazing countries, and for me, I'm sure it's the same for you. It's more just a paid hobby as opposed to an actual job. Yeah. So you travelled all over the world. Where's some of the best places you've been to?
I've been to Washington. Annoyingly, been to Washington loads of times, and it was before we'd made these connections with the Washington Old Guard and the American Marine Corps. Nowadays, if we were going over now, we would definitely get together with them and do some stuff together. But yeah, Washington's a great place to visit. Did a 4-week tour of New Zealand, which was fantastic.
Was that as part of the Edinburgh Tattoo?
Yeah, well, it was our own tattoo
Okay.
that was happening out there, a Rotorua tattoo. But we toured around North Island.
Nice.
That was great. India, trying to think of some of the different countries, all over Europe. Yeah, everywhere really. What's the best place I've been? Possibly, well, I mean, because I'm a drummer, going to Basel Tattoo. You've done a Basel Tattoo. That has got to be the best tattoo for hopefully for the audience as well, but for the performer. They just look after you so well.
Yeah.
They understand it because the organizer, Eric, he's who's obviously the founder of Top Secret as well. He understands what it means to be a performer.
Yeah, he's been around the circuit, done all the tattoos, and thought, I think I can do one myself. I know what works, I know what doesn't work.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a 5-star tattoo for the performer and the audience. I think.
Yeah. But they understand, if the performer is getting that amazing experience, that's going to show, in the shows themselves. Those performers are going to work harder. They're going to be happy. They're going to, anything that might be a little bit annoying or things have taken longer, people are going to be more forgiving, and hopefully that comes out in the performance. And I think that's a real, for me, that's the only way to run a tattoo.
I think it's quite vital.
Yeah, and the cast bar is
legendary.
Probably too many stories.
I think we should leave it there. So this is a question that sort of throws people.
Great.
Tell us something that most people don't know about you.
Okay, right. So when the drums, the RS1s were getting designed, there was the handle on the side, and when it was originally designed, it was in the way of the lug, I believe.
It was, yeah.
It's the tuning lug. So I sat down it's just, you literally just had the prototype up and running, didn't you? And on a scrap bit of paper, I just sort of drew this kind of rough design, and I sort of called it the dragon tooth. Dragon tooth. And then I mowed some sort of royalties from this. And then next thing, the designer had, created something obviously proper, not just my rubbish drawing. And then so I coined the
dragon tooth lever.
Dragon tooth lever.
Yeah,
So there you
not
go.
many people know that.
No.
In fact, probably very little even in this factory knew that. So there's something
There's
there.
my claim to fame. There you go.